Who's excited? Who's fired up? Who did I accidentally hit with the t-shirt gun? My apologies, sincerely. So everyone, all right, people, I gotta tell you, shake it off. Time to shake it off. Shake it off. We gotta get into business here. But, thank you. But I am gonna take a moment to bask in the glory of the fact for once, because this is the crazy Silicon Valley, that I just got introduced on stage by Taylor Swift and the Burger King guy. Probably the first and last time that will ever happen in my entire life, so I hope my mom is watching on live stream. Hi, Mom, hope you're doing well. Awesome. So, welcome back to Pulse 2015. I hope that lived up to the surprise expectations we set for you. At a minimum, that was the weirdest thing you've ever seen at a tech conference. So, we set the bar pretty low. So, really, really excited to have you all here, and so thankful. Because, I mean, at Gainsight, we really think about the fact that Pulse and customer success, this community, it's not Gainsight, it's you guys. It's all of you. And thank you so much for making this an amazing event and letting us be a small part of it. Thanks to the 150 amazing speakers that we heard from yesterday and today, CSM experts that are dropping some serious customer success wisdom on all of us. And I got to talk to a lot of you in the last 24 hours, and I think there were a number of sessions that really made an impact. So thanks to all the people that prepared so much to be here. Really, really honored to have you here. Thank you, actually, to our amazing lunchtime speakers. I hope everyone comes to the lunchtime event. So Joelle Emerson from Paradigm Group, and then Colleen Taylor from TechCrunch, many of you probably read Colleen, are gonna talk about an issue that's super important in customer success in every other profession, which is recruiting and retaining a diverse workforce. And I'm really, really excited for you guys to be there for that. Thank you to the amazing CEOs yesterday on the panel with Byron Dieter. And then today, we have two back-to-back panels at the end. One of private company CEOs meeting with VCs in kind of a mock board session, and then closing out with Customer Success Jeopardy with 3 public company CEOs. That is to not be missed. So make sure you stay till the end. Should be awesome. And we'll have some charity donations as part of that. Thanks to our amazing sponsors. None of this would be possible without the sponsors that are out in the exhibit hall. Big round of applause to the sponsors, please. Please, thank you especially to Salesforce, our Titanium sponsor, and many of us are Salesforce customers and appreciate everything Salesforce does for this community. And thanks to all the sponsors, please go visit their booths, get scanned by your badges, sign up for the email, win their prizes, and buy their services. They're really all very relevant to customer success. And I gotta say special thanks to my marketing team. I don't know if you guys know, but the Gainsight marketing team is literally 4 people. And they put on this amazing show. So if you don't mind, round of applause again. So we obviously planned this venue for the first time. Thanks to all of you for accommodating some of the challenges like the cold and things like that. And they've kind of rolled and hopefully tried to meet kind of what you guys are expecting. But one of the great things is with the crazy CEO, having a marketing team that's always open-minded to ideas, and every kind of thing I would share with them, they would just always say, that's a great idea, Nick, and always be supportive, and then just always had a can-do attitude. So no matter what ridiculous concept I came up with, or one of us came up with Taylor Swift on stage, they always went with it. So thank you to our marketing team. Now, thanks to all of you for traveling from so far. Many of you are from throughout the world, which is amazing to come out here to California. Some of you are as far away as Ireland. Some of you came from as close as the Irish bar down the street, most likely by accident. But it's really awesome to have everyone here. People that are from outside the US, raise your hands. That's awesome. Thank you for traveling far and wide to get here. Really welcome to all of you. So I think you know that we have more than 2,000 people here, which honestly, if you're in the customer success movement the last couple of years and you're in customer success, whether you're in the audience or on the stage, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that this thing has gotten so big. And it's just amazing to think about how far it's gonna go in the next few years. For those of you that don't know, about 1/3 of you are in small companies trying to figure out customer success from the beginning and get it right from the start. 1/3 of you are in fast-growing, late-stage or public companies that are in that growth mode trying to scale. And 1/3 of you are in really, really big companies trying to engineer customer success into what you do every day. And so kudos to all of you for coming here and making this happen. And you are helping us fill this 120,000 square feet of space of customer success awesomeness, which is really amazing. Just to put 120,000 square feet in perspective, if you live in the Bay Area, that's about 12,000 houses. And if you live in Texas, that's your house. So most likely. So Texans probably got that. So really exciting to have us all fill this place with so much love and so much joy. And I want to just thank and congratulate all of you, because frankly, Gainsight's just the party host. You guys are making customer success happen. You're challenging your teams. You're training your teams. You're coaching your CEOs on why this is so important. And we've all just made such a big transformation in the last few years. So thank you so much. So with that, I want to do our annual tradition of the Customer Success Pulse Fist Bump. So find your neighbor and give your neighbor the Customer Success Fist Bump to congratulate them for the amazing stuff that they're doing. And who's going to give me a fist bump on stage? Somebody come up here. Niels. Yeah. Yeah, you can blow it up, okay? Customer success is blowing up. And it's just as cute as that kitty cat. It's all things in together, right? So super excited to have all of us here celebrating what we're doing. As you probably can tell, Gainsight has kind of a zany culture. One of our values is childlike joy. We take it very seriously, try to do it in everything we do. And we had a lot of fun with this video. And if you haven't seen the video, go back and watch it on YouTube. Super fun. Special thanks to all the people that were in it. Amazing voices by all of them. And we had a lot of fun thinking about the video. For me, it was a personal experiment in thinking about how many customers can you embarrass at the same time without affecting your churn rate. And so it's been fabulous. And to all the folks in the video, you guys are great. And you all have future careers in music. So thank you so much. But we had a lot of debate inside Gainsight about what song to choose. This was like a massive debate. We're all into music and cheesy music and adapting songs. And you can tell some weird stuff, right? And so we had some debate. We talked about, well, you know, maybe it shouldn't be Taylor Swift. Maybe it should be the fact that customer success needs to move from a one-to-one to a one-to-many, from a high-touch to a low-touch kind of fashion. And so we thought about what would be the right song for that and had different ideas. We thought about the fact that customer success, if you really think about it, is about never, ever letting a customer go. Doing everything you can, never giving up on a customer, never letting them give you up. And so we thought about that too. We thought about ideas on how we could incorporate that. We thought about the fact that customer success is not just about churn reduction, renewals, and retention, but it's about upsell and growth. And so we had different ideas on that in terms of how we could do it. And we knew that no matter what we did, we could always go back to Taylor Swift telling us how to deal with churn and how to get over it. And so we had a lot of fun thinking about where we're going to take this, and obviously hope you guys had a lot of fun as well. So Pulse, as you can probably tell, is a lot of work, and it's a lot of fun. We have fun here, but the last few weeks are a lot of work. I do want to also thank the extended members of the Gainsight team, all of our team members' families who've let us work through the crazy nights, and some of us have contributed here, including Anthony, our head of marketing's family, who's all here. And I got to thank my wife in particular, who's kind of put up with a lot of crazy stuff, crazy ideas over the last few weeks. And she's been really understanding of how important this conference is and how much time it takes. So mid last week, I got this email from her. Her name's Monika. With Pulse going on, I'm thinking you might not realize this Sunday is Mother's Day. And maybe I should give you a heads up, smiley face. By the way, that's not a smiley face. That's code. I took care of your mom. That's my wife, by the way. She's on top of things. So, you know, this was like Wednesday afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. So I get this email. I'm like, okay, how do I compose my response? How do I pretend like I have everything planned out, respond to her, thinking about it a little bit. About 5 minutes later, I get the second email. If you haven't planned it at all, I have some thoughts. I can plan it, smiley face. And so, of course, I'm thinking again, you know, I got all kinds of ideas, and although my mind is pretty consumed, but we'll figure it out. I actually texted my 9-year-old daughter, who actually has text, which is amazing, and she has all these plans. So I'm, okay, we got it covered, about to write back. And then third email, just subject line, no message, planning my own Mother's Day. So, round of applause for my wife for planning her own Mother's Day and being about it. So that obviously, you know, we did have an amazing, back, let's see here. The slides aren't advanced, if you guys can put up the next slide. All right. Backstage. Yeah, cool, awesome. All right, so there you go. Let's try it again. All right, so I'm super excited about today because we've got Michael Lewis, the author of Moneyball, and I don't know how many of you read Moneyball. Clap your hands if you read Moneyball. And I've been a Moneyballer since I've been a little kid, as you can tell from the baseball experiment on stage yesterday. This is me from when I was playing baseball as a little kid. Unfortunately, my one-year career never lived up to expectations and all the hype, but I do love sports, love home runs or whatever they do in baseball, and really excited to have Michael Lewis come on here and talk. It's going to be great. But most importantly, I'm super excited about talking about customer success, and I'm unreasonably excited about customer success because there's so much happening here. Yesterday, my colleague and partner in crime, Dan Steinman, talked about where we are today in customer success, and look at us today, amazing. I want to talk for the next 10 minutes about where we're going as an industry and what the things we should all be thinking about to really make customer success a reality. So one of the things I want to start with is customer success is inevitable. A couple of years ago at this conference, I would have talked about what customer success is. You know, what is it? How is it different from support? Why does it matter? Why should your CEO care about it? Why should you care about it? I would have talked about when you should implement it. God, I would have talked about if it should even happen, right? That train has left the station. It's inevitable. Customer success is happening, and the companies that are going to be successful are the ones that put customer success first. And there's so many companies out there that care about customer success and so many leaders that know that it's really important that frankly, if I was a customer success professional and I was working at a company that didn't care about customer success, I'd find a company that did because there's so many of them out there. And this is inevitable. We got to make sure the world understands that this is happening. But one of the challenges then, if you go beyond the what, the when, the why, the real challenge is the how, right? The how is, how do I do this with so many customers? How do I do this across different products? How do I do this across different regions? And as most of you know, everything in business is some combination of people, metrics and objectives, strategy, and technology. And although we're a technology vendor, we believe the people part is the biggest part. And that's really what I want to talk about in terms of where we're going with customer success. So we're going to spend some time talking about people. Most of you know that every company needs to elevate customer success to the executive level, right? Whether it's a CCO that reports directly to the CEO or head of customer success that's part of the CRO organization, you need an executive at the table owning your existing customers. And I think all of us would agree with that. I think everyone also understands in the audience that customer success is not just about support, not about services, not about training, although those are really, really important. It's about this separate function that's kind of a peer to account management, but really focused on customer value and customer success. And we think it needs to be its own function that's a parallel to all those other great teams in the company. But let's talk about how customer success can scale and how we as people can scale it. So customer success, if every one of us had one customer, would be super easy. For all of us, we wouldn't need to go to a conference, we wouldn't need to buy technology, we wouldn't need to go to training. Customer success with one customer would be easy. Here's the recipe. Look up the customer on Google Maps, find out where they are, buy a ticket to see them, go stay at their site, and do whatever they want, right? And then bonus, if that doesn't work, get their kids birthday presents. That's it, right? That's a Furby, by the way, if you don't know that. And it doesn't turn off. It just keeps talking all the time. If you don't have a Furby, don't get one. So customer success would be easy if we had one customer, but everyone in this audience is scaling from 1 to 10 to 10,000 to 10 million. And how does customer success scale? And does it scale by hiring 10 million CSMs, or does it scale by doing something different? So what I want to talk about is what we think of as the 5 ingredients to scalable customer success. And these aren't our ideas. These are your ideas. We're just listening and sharing them back with you. These are the 5 things that I think everyone's already doing, and if you're not, you should be doing them. And we'll talk about each one of them in detail. Number 1, and everyone talks about this, we need to make sure that we've thoughtfully tiered our customers. Not just based on revenue, but really thinking about it. We'll talk about that. We need to think about our organization as not just a bunch of people assigned to customers, but some people assigned to programs to reach customers in a one-to-many fashion. We need to think about customer success as a business operation, just like sales, with an operational focus. We need to grow the talent pool, and we'll talk more about that. And then we need to show our companies how we drive sales. So let's go into each of those in a little detail. Let's talk about tiering. Everyone in the audience knows that you need to tier. Most of you probably have some pyramid on some whiteboard about how your customers are tiered. But when I talk to you, a couple things come out. Number one, a number of you say, we're gonna tier our customers eventually, right? How many of you want to tier your customers eventually? A number of you in the audience probably are in that point. Or that you're not sure you're tiering your customers the right way. And so what we think is you need to start thinking about tiering now. When you're setting the expectations with customers, when you're building those relationships, when you're telling them what customer success does, you need to start thinking about tiering from day one. And luckily, we've got data to back it up. So today, we're announcing our Pulse Customer Success Index, which is this regular benchmarking we're doing. A gentleman named Scott Golden on our team is gonna run this. And every quarter or two, he's gonna survey the leading subscription businesses to understand how are they managing their customers. So all of you, many of you probably participated in this survey, and if you didn't, we'd love to have you in the next one. What we found is about half of you are tiering your customers today. Many of you in relatively high-level fashions, like based on customers or revenue or some other combination of intrinsic factors. But that means about half of you aren't tiering your customers out of the people we surveyed. When you look at how many customers are per CSM in each tier, as you might imagine, it varies a lot. You know, the top tier could be anywhere from 1 to 10 or 15. Your bottom tier might be 3, 4, 500, right? And so that's kind of the way that the data breaks out in terms of medians. And at Gainsight, we ourselves are going through our own tiering of customers, right? Because all of our customers are important, but different customers need different types of service. For us, we look at the current revenue our customers are spending with us, the potential revenue if they expanded throughout their business, the marketing brand value, the referenceability, and then the strategic value, which is what do they teach us about a new industry, a new use case, product feedback, things like that. So whether you use this rubric or some other, I'd encourage you to go back and find a smart way to tier your customers. It's probably not just current revenue, because if you've got a land and expand model, you'll end up having a divisional sale to GE that looks like a small customer, right? So it's probably some combination of all these factors. That's ingredient number one. Ingredient number two then is when you have those lower tiers, and even for your higher tiers, you have to figure out how do you do some things in a one-to-many fashion, where it's not just human effort every single time. And going back to my favorite, Taylor Swift, when Taylor Swift followed me on Twitter, which actually happened, I was initially like, wow, Taylor Swift just followed me on Twitter. And then I was like, wait, I just followed her on Twitter, and she followed me immediately on Twitter. That probably wasn't her following me on Twitter. It was probably something else happening, right? She was using one-to-many technology to engage with her fans, right? And that's awesome. And although I knew it was technology, it still was very thoughtful and kind of helps her engage with the people she works with. And what we find in our same survey is that many of you are thinking about one-to-many and what many people call customer marketing, right? About a quarter of you already have a customer marketing role aligned with or part of the customer success team. But what that means is 3/4 of you need to go back and do it. And we'll talk more about how to do that in a second. What are you doing with that customer marketing function? Many of you are doing webinars to your customers. Great one-to-many way to talk about roadmap and training, things like that. Many of you are doing email marketing in a one-to-many fashion. Some of you have implemented communities. Highly recommend community. We actually just launched ours a few months ago. Phenomenal success. Many of you are doing events like this. We'd encourage you to continue to think about more one-to-many ways to engage your customers. But one of the challenges is this term customer marketing. Customer marketing is as nebulous as customer success, right? What is customer marketing? Is it about customers or is it about the marketing? Is it about your customer success or is it about driving new business? And what we'd encourage you to think about at Gainsight is break customer marketing into two pieces. Part of customer marketing is all about one-to-many strategies for engaging with your customers to drive customer success outcomes, to drive adoption, to drive success, to drive advocacy, renewals, et cetera. Switch this? All right, great. Part of it is switching to focus on adoption and customer success outcomes in a one-to-many fashion. Part of it, though, is working with your customers to help get new customers through advocacy, through references, through referrals. And what we think at Gainsight is the adoption piece belongs with the customer success team because it's all about a customer success outcome. And you can't really depend on anyone else to make that happen. So you need to control or at least work with marketing to drive those one-to-many programs. Whereas the advocacy piece, which is all about new business, naturally belongs in marketing. You know, that's all about getting new leads, new customers, et cetera. At a minimum, what you need to do is make sure there's no ball dropped, right? There's naturally some overlap between the functions, but for a lot of companies, the customer success team thinks marketing has it, and the marketing team thinks customer success has it. At the end of the day, the ball gets dropped. And so what we'd encourage you to do is go back and make sure you've figured out customer marketing, and maybe you divide and conquer, like we just talked about. At Gainsight, in terms of practicing what we preach, when we thought about our headcount plan for this year, we hired a lot of CSMs and continue to hire them, but we decided to hire some folks focus on one-to-many. On the left is Nika. Nika did a session yesterday, which is actually really popular, all about one-to-many customer engagement. Nika is not going to focus on lots of individual customers. She's going to figure out scalable ways to announce new features, to drive adoption, to drive renewals, et cetera. And then Anthony and the marketing team, great picture from Anthony from way back, are going to drive advocacy, referrals, references, new business, because I want Anthony focused on driving sales and I want our customer success team focused on driving success. So I'd encourage you to think about that delineation. Next, I'd encourage you to think about customer success as an operational function. Most of us understand that every business process can be broken down into steps, right? Sales, marketing, they all have their operational roles. There's Salesforce admins and sales ops people. They're marketing ops people. I'm here to tell you that customer success needs its own operations person. If you're a customer success operations person, raise your hand in the room. Let me see you. See who's here in the room. There you go. We need a lot more at Pulse next year because customer success needs the data about what's happening. They need the process flows. They need to understand the systems. And although the sales ops team is awesome, you can't always go back to sales ops, right? Sales ops has to serve sales as well. So I'm here to tell you customer success operations is an important function, and you agree. Almost half of you have already hired a customer success operations person within our survey set. What that means is the other half of you have to go back and hire somebody. And I think a lot of the companies that are scaling have figured out that this is more important than hiring one more CSM. In our company, again, practicing what we preach, we looked at our headcount plan and said, in addition to hiring more CSMs, let's put somebody, Julia, on our team in charge of customer success operations, and then somebody else, Bar, in charge of services operations. They work with Nika, and that triumvirate is figuring out how we can scale. And I'd encourage you to figure out what's your triumvirate, who's going to help you scale in your company. Fourth ingredient to scale. This audience is awesome, amazing, but we need to grow this 10 times, right? We need to find more people in customer success. We can go on LinkedIn and look for customer success, but you know who we find? We find all of you. You're already in customer success, right? And the maybe 20,000 other people that relabeled their job to customer success but haven't changed what they do day to day, right? But that's not going to grow the industry if we just keep looking inside customer success. We might recruit each other away from each other's companies, but we're not growing our talent base. What we found in another survey we just did, which is actually the first and biggest benchmarking survey on the customer success profession, where we asked you about your backgrounds, your compensation, your incentive model, and we're going to share this with you as well. What we found is the majority of people in customer success are brand new, right? They've come in the last few years. They're learning it. They're coming to conferences like this. And if we just focus on hiring from this profession, we're never going to grow. We're never going to scale, right? And marketing, 15 years ago, online marketing, you couldn't hire online marketers, right? There were none. You had to grow the profession. We need to grow the profession. That's why at Gainsight, we're really excited about Customer Success University, which we've been doing about a year now online. And we did our first live Customer Success University on Monday with a ton of people there, lots of people learning, and we need to keep growing the profession. At Gainsight, in our team, when we think about growing our customer success team, we want to hire customer success folks that are experienced and all that. We also want to hire people from consulting that have management consulting and strategy backgrounds. We want to hire people from college that want to learn customer success. We want to hire MBAs that want customer success as a way to get into management. We want to hire account managers that can move from account management to customer success. We want to grow the profession. I encourage all of you to do the same. And what you need to think about is, if you're in this room, you are the pioneers that got here first, and you need to teach all those other folks how to do customer success. We need to grow this from 2,000 to 20,000 and make this a giant profession that's really powerful. If we do that, one of the things, my predictions, for the last 10, 15 years in software, the majority of CEOs came from product or sales or sometimes marketing. The CEOs of the future are in this audience. You know your customers, you know your products, you know your sales process. If we grow the profession, the CEOs of the future are the CSMs of today. So really excited to help make that happen. Awesome. Let's talk about sales. Well, love this picture of sales. If you Google sales guy, this is the one that comes up. Many of you use it. I wonder who this guy is, actually. So the reality is, we all know that customer success drives sales in terms of renewals, retention, reducing churn, driving upsell. But you are underselling yourselves if you just talk about that. And I talked to a few folks in the audience about this yesterday and today. Customer success, if done right, does so much more than that. First of all, customer success is how you win deals. Customer success drives differentiation. It is the way that you sort yourself out from the thousands of other companies that have things that sound like what you do. All of our products over time look the same. The people and the approach are what differentiate it. Second, customer success is a revenue driver. If you do it right, you can charge more. You can actually increase your ASP. A lot of companies have gotten to the point where the basic plan, the kind of one on the website, and the advanced plan, the difference is customer success. And people pay 10x more for having somebody willing to help you with your problems. And then finally, customer success is going to get you new customers through advocacy. And with that, let me bring Mark Organ onto the stage, who's an expert in customer advocacy. Mark was formerly the founder and CEO of Eloqua, and now is the CEO of Influitive, a company that's pioneering the way advocacy works. So Mark, please come to the stage. Awesome. How you doing, man?
Awesome! I'm so happy to be here among my people. How awesome is this? Paul's customer success. Man, this is great. 2,000 of you here. The reason why I'm so excited is that before I started building SaaS companies, I was a customer success guy, a management consultant. So you're right. You can become a CEO once starting in customer success. I think you are going to see a lot more of that.
Awesome. Mark, why don't you share one idea with us on how these folks can drive new revenue in their business through customer success?
Well, one idea. Well, as you probably know, I am very excited about advocacy, but that's not really a new idea. We all want to try to drive more advocacy in our business. How do we do that, right? Well, we need an advocate program. Does that mean that you're responsible for the advocate program on top of all the other things that you need to do, all the work that you do in terms of delighting customers every day? No, that's marketing's job. So go and tell the VP of marketing that you're pouring all this love into customers every single day, and you need a return on that. So they need to do an advocate program. So then what do? Well, you need to delight customers. And the number one way that I've seen to delight customers is to find wow moments. You gotta surprise them, you gotta delight them. And you're the best people to do that. You are the tip of the spear. You're out with your customers every single day. And so here's the challenge I would pose to you. Every week, run one experiment. Try one thing to delight those customers of yours. Send a handwritten note. Send a bunch of cronuts. Try an infographic comparing the great results that your customers are getting with others, right? And when you get a hit, do it 1-2 more times. What you'll probably find after about 6 weeks is that you have a winner. And that's when you can go to product or go to marketing and say, let's package this. Let's make it available for everybody. And that's a super win, right?
Did you say cronut, by the way, or donut? Cronut?
Cronut.
Cronut, okay, good.
Does anyone know what a cronut is? I've never had one, but they really look awesome. It's a croissant donut thing. But anyway, Apparently, it's like a couple $1,000 to send a box of cronuts. So I will do that for my customers one day, a box of cronuts. But that you can package up these learnings that you have, and that becomes the root of some serious differentiation for your department and for your company. Okay, so that's my challenge to you. Run an experiment every week, figure out something that you can then package, and that, I think, will be an amazing driver of advocacy and success for you.
That's great, Mark. Really appreciate you sharing the wisdom. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Cool, thanks.
Awesome. Thanks to Mark. So with that, these are the 5 things that we've tried to make them really specific. This is not like a strategy or a experiment. These are 5 things to make happen when you go back. Tier your customers, hire a one-to-many person, hire an operations person, expand your recruiting process, and figure out how to drive sales. I think these 5 things, by next Pulse, I'm gonna hold you accountable. We should hold ourselves accountable to have these 5 implemented by next year. Now here's a bonus idea. If we wanna scale customer success, we have to acknowledge that customer success is not all fireworks. It's not all celebration. It's not all Taylor Swift and barbershop quartets. Customer success is churn, cancellations, code red meetings, crises, CEOs helicoptering in and wanting a 2-minute summary of the last 2 years of what you've done with the customer. Some of you have probably experienced that. Customer success, sometimes CSM can feel like it stands for something else. And the reality is that if we spend all this time driving retention of our customers, figuring out how to save them, making sure we don't churn them, we're not gonna retain our people. And this is gonna be a job that people churn out of. And so we as leaders have gotta figure out how we bring that success back into customer success. And obviously, trying to have fun in these last few days is a very, very small part of it. How do you go back and not just scrutinize the churn and figure out what happened, but also celebrate the massive adoption win that nobody talked about? How do you go back and not do the root cause analysis on all the things that happened badly last quarter, but talk about all the big wins? How do you go have a way to celebrate customer success like you celebrate sales, where you ring a gong and people go to Mexico and things like that? Customer success deserves its celebration. And if we do that, CSM can actually stand for something a little more positive. And I think we, as an industry, can come together and make customer success something that doesn't feel like it's always putting out fires and always solving problems. And with that, I want to celebrate today some companies that have done a great job innovating and celebrating in their customer success programs. Yesterday, we talked about big, diversified companies that have re-engineered customer success in their processes. Today, we're going to celebrate the most innovative companies in customer success that are pure-play SaaS companies that have built this in from the beginning and are scaling it. So with that, I'd like to cue the video.
Box has a very open corporate culture that's very, very focused on customers. In fact, from the day that I joined Box, my role has been defined as literally being responsible for customer success. And we take that really, really seriously. We want our customers to not just have a good experience with our software, but actually enjoy the experience and be delighted through that experience.
At Clarizen, we define customer success as ownership for our most important asset, our 2,500 customers around the world. Part of what I love about the SaaS model is that we've got to demonstrate business value to our customers every day, or they could switch to a competitor.
You know, while we have an internal customer success department, the reality is, the entire company, every employee, they're honorary members of our customer success team.
Workday customers are at the heart of all our business decisions. Everything we do centers on the question, how will this affect our customers? That's why we have the highest customer satisfaction rating of any major enterprise application vendor.
We want to make our customers look like rock stars. We want to help them see impact, see great success stories, and as a result of that, thrive and flourish in their careers.
It's really a great honor to receive this award. I mean, given the number of extremely innovative and successful customer service organizations out there, we're just thrilled to be honored with the Innovation Award from Gainsight.
We're Clarizen.
We are BrightEdge.
We're Workday.
We're OpenDNS.
We're Box, and we are the movement in customer success.
The whole time. All right, please join me in welcoming the winners to the stage. What's up, buddy? How you doing? How do I go? Hey, John, you want me to go down there or here? Okay, there. Congratulations. To Box, great. You can walk off. Yeah, thanks. To Claire's in, thank you. Awesome, great. All right. To Workday, thank you so much. Great singing. Awesome. To OpenDNS, thank you. Great, thank you. And to Bright Edge, thank you very much, man. Awesome. Great, thanks, man. Appreciate it. So where do we go from here? If we get the slides back up, by the way. Where do we go from here? You know, Pulse 2015 was amazing. What do we do next? None of us can wait till Pulse 2016. We have too much to do in the next year. So at Gainsight, we'll continue to partner with you on a few things. Last summer did this Pulse Check, which was our online all-day virtual event, which I'm amazed all of you stayed online all day. 1,500 people attended that virtual event to continue this best practice sharing. No Taylor Swift, though, unfortunately. We'll continue the Pulse local meetups in all of your cities throughout the world and throughout the US and continue to expand those. We'll continue online Customer Success University and keep adding more and more modules. And we'll continue our Career Hub to help you find team members and for team members to find great companies. But on that note, I'm excited to announce a couple new things. First, we're gonna run the first and therefore largest online customer success job fair in a few weeks. We're gonna let you as employers come and meet college grads, MBAs, consultants, and experienced customer success professionals who wanna break into new companies. And we're gonna have a way to scalably do that. More to come on that. We are excited to bring customer success to Europe later this year, and hopefully all of you will go with us, or at least some of you will convince your bosses that it's worthwhile business expense. And so Pulse is coming to Europe later this year, which is super, super exciting, and we will certainly change baseball to soccer or football or whatever they call it there. So, in summary, everything is awesome, and customer success is getting a little bit of swagger. So let's hear it for swagger in the customer success movement. Round of applause for the swagger. I want to hear the swagger. Let's hear the swagger. Who's got swagger? Awesome.